Hello and welcome to the final match of the CCL regular season. I'm your local necromancer, Brando V2, and I am joined by the always lovely.
AJ Cannon, hello there. It's great to be here. Great to finally cast with you, Brando. You've been stolen by everybody else, it seems, but I finally get the chance. It's going to be a great stream here. It's going to
Just
be a
had to
pretty
get my
good game as
steps
well.
in. Just had to get my reps in. We were gonna get to this point one day.
You got to
But
save
yeah.
the best for last, right?
Oh well, I hope this is my last. I hope I haven't been that bad.
Last of the season, at least for now.
Okay,
There
you
is
know what?
still
Fair.
play-ins and playoffs to go, but for the regular season, this will be the last stream, the last game of the last stream, and hopefully it's going to be a good one. We do have two fairly even teams here. It's going to be OSU, which is not Oklahoma or any other. It is going to be Oregon State, and it's going to be versus Tulsa. And it's going to be the OSU B team versus the Tulsa A team. And just because of the way that works, because OSU seems to have a very stacked lineup. They have a lot of good players there, so their B team is also still pretty good. Yeah, it's just going to look really, really good. We're also going to be starting with Atten City, which is always pretty fun.
Atten City, it's one of those maps I'm very, I don't know, hit or miss on. I think personally I just don't have a good forward pick for it. But looking at the stats, it looks like their forward players are very similar. There's a Julian Rasmus on both sides. And then I believe the Hurricanes have an Asher forward as well. So I'm expecting to see very similar play styles of get it to the forward, stuff it through, and especially on Otten here, it's really going to be the coordination between the midfield and the forward to get things done and get it through these goalies. And it looks like Hurricanes, I'm gonna pronounce it Torin, is a very lock it down goalie player. You're seeing the Atlas, you're seeing the Asher, you're seeing the Dubu, all solid, but those are three very slow goalies, and on an open map with such a big barrier like that, like Otten, I don't know how well that's gonna go for them.
Yeah, and that might just be why OSU picked Otten City to start with, because Otten City is notoriously unpopular, but it's also very good for anyone that likes to outmaneuver the opponents, play a lot more core control and a lot more quick characters. So, picking that map that sort of counters some of your enemy's best picks is a way to just win even before the character draft comes out. So we're going to see if that was OSU's plan, if they were able to do that, and if Tulsa is able to just work around that to be able to counter their enemy's counter, ruin their plans. Always fun to see how the teams go through that process. But after that, we're going to have Taiko Temple, which is really good for a lot of those more goals.
Love Taiko. Love Taiko. Top, outside of Goo, top map in the game. It's just one of those maps. I really like all the angles you can get on Taiko. So many interesting things can happen where, yes, you need to know your character's kit very well and obviously your team synergy, but all the different angles that you can come up off of that. Center drums, the side drums, especially those little corner ones on either side of the goal box. I am a firm believer of if you want to be solid on Taiko, you basically just need to go in there in a custom and just work on those angles, get those Taiko angles off that center drum, and really use those to your advantage to mix up the goalie.
Also, it appears that I have exhibited classic Omega Strikers reading comprehension skills, that is to say, none, and I got the teams backwards, so it's going to be OSU that picked up Taiko, and it's going to be Tulsa that goes to Atten City, so even more surprising than Tulsa picking a map that seems to counter their goalie, but if Torin is confident in the picks, maybe has another pick besides those main ball goalies that he can pull out. Or again, just a nice Dubu with some projectile range can do a lot of work. So we'll see how that goes out.
Yeah, and I think it's really going to come down to what starting awakenings we get with, especially on Alton. If you get a Dubu that picks up, let's say a speed awakening, stacks on stacks, even stagger swagger to an extent, that could completely change what your picks are. Maybe Torin does have a Rasmus pick, or I don't know, even a Estelle goalie. I want an Estelle goalie on Alton, but I've seen it done. It's very viable. I think it's viable. But Ice Skate and Dubu.
Ice Skate and Dubu is pretty good, but I gotta say, the Queen of Ice, Estelle, is goated on Atten City as goalie. Probably my favorite goalie to play. Not necessarily sure if she is the best, but she's definitely up there, especially if you get some projectile range. But even just starting with Strike Shot gives you enough projectile range to get your ultimate beyond that halfway line without actually leaving your barrier. So you get a lot of defensive, positioning and a lot of offensive pressure from that. But it appears that Torn just does not care. He's going to play what he wants, play it how he plays it, and it's going to work out well for him. At least so he thinks. We're going to have to see if OSU can fire back at that. But at very least, Torn has the confidence to win the game.
And sometimes the biggest strength of any goalie is confidence and patience.
I've lost track of how many times I've just gotten flustered in the goalie box. It's like, even though it's a very easy save or just one that I know that I can do because I'm just rushing it, I strike too early. And of course, strike first is how you lose, strike second win. So I just get dunked on by the forward. So if Torren has the confidence to be able to do that, that really does just increase your goalie prowess so much.
Yeah, I think the mental fortitude of goalie is kind of what makes or breaks a good goalie. I feel like everyone has that one character that as soon as they see them load into the game, you're immediately tilted. You're immediately thrown off. And if you're a goalie and your kryptonite character is walking up to you with the core, it's sometimes hard not to panic. For me, that's Kazan. I hate it. I hate seeing a Kazan in my game. I know a lot of, I play an Asher forward. I know a lot of people hate seeing my Asher forward walk up. People fear Julie. So it's that mental I think it's going to be that mental fortitude, and especially something like Autumn, where it is such a wide open map, and it's going to be finding those angles. And speaking of finding those angles, looks like we are all ready and getting ready to head in Dallas servers. So looking like we'll pick up. I mean, makes sense. You got two West Coasts. West Coast and a Central, I guess.
Those Dallas servers can be pretty good. Yeah, with explosive entrance though and siege machine, that's a lot of range, projectile range, and also dash range. So we're gonna have Digitos probably with the explosive entrance if I had to take a guess, just because Imi's so good with that extra impact on both the secondary and the primary. Really, really good on Imi. Of course, siege machine is also good projectile range effects, 2 of her abilities, and also all the other creation things. So really going to be interesting to see, but I foretell that we're going to see a lot of explosive entrance here. Siege Machine most likely going the way of Torren because Dash Awakening is kind of a trap on Dubu, can just completely into your positioning and just kind of stun lock.
Yeah, and Siege Machine not bad on a Dubu. You get that projectile range and something for your creations. Also here
it's really strong on Dubu.
Yeah, also here we see Echo and Doggetso. Not Doggetso. Can I just call it Dogget?
Or a dog.
Dog. That sounds... Yeah, Doggitos. Hovering a Kite and Imi. So a lot of mobility, which speed is king in Omega Strikers. And especially on Auden, you have all that speed, all the mobility, just to move around the map. Also, I'm guessing Imi midfield would allow them to come back and help the Dubu if needed. And we're seeing the Estelle, Kazan, and I'd imagine an Atlas goalie on the side of OSU. And we're ready to kick it off. And let's see who can get control first and get the Hurricanes. Nice passing play with the Imi to the Kai, getting that quick barrier. Again, that Atlas speed, just not able to catch it, but the Expanse able to save it in that open goal. And Estelle trying to stay open, trying to give Ekoho a clear if they need it. It's still primary beam, but that Dubu log able to save it, able to break out of the stun as we see the Hurricanes make it a play. And I'm not sure if we saw that, but it looked like Kazan having some connection issues towards the end there.
Can be a little unfortunate when that happens, and also the level 1 Kazan not the best. So once he hits that level 2, that's really going to be when OSU Orange really starts to get active on the map and gets to do a lot more. Because that level 1 Kazan just doesn't quite have the tools. You can see he's dashing all the way across, which is always funny to see. Get that, but another barrier goes down here. Tulsa Hurricanes finding those early barriers, both sets, or both points in the set. And just not quite finding the goal as quick. A lot of good defense here from OSU Orange. They just need a little bit more aggression and a little bit more strength on those passes, but Hurricanes have just been so good at stepping so far.
And we are looking 2 core flips on the side of the Hurricanes. Echo might be getting close to theirs as well. One coming out from Torn, both barriers are open. Both teams just trying to make something happen. Doggett's trying to get the flip, trying to make it happen. Echo, biggest gets a nice clear out of the Kai, but the Ivy Blink coming in gets a KO and Kai locking it in with the goal.
Yep. That cyber swipe from Aimi is so brutal with that explosive entrance, especially couple that with the super surge as well. It's always been a brutal combo. The range that you get just surprises people. Another barrier goes down. Echoes has been so good at getting this early barrier every single time, but Taquitos is taking a lot of damage here. Is going to regenerate is, of course, Atom City Orbs, so a lot of health there. Great saves, though, from Torn. Keeps this barrier alive for so long. The Atlas Astral Projection is really nice so far. Barrage goes a little bit wide. Echo has the Giga Blast, is going to use it, but it's not going to get too much done. Even as the Core Flip, it's not going to use just yet, and that's going to be one barrier going down. Lepontian able to just keep a little bit more aggression here. Echoes and whiffs the Core Flip rule. Unfortunately, the Rose Warp is nice to get it through, but there's no more pressure there. The Xan's not quite in the perfect position before it doesn't get to him. And now this aggression just keeps kind of going back and forth without getting too much substance done.
Yeah, like, again, both teams able to get the barrier open. Open goal on both ends. Kai with the barrage. Echo just not able to, like, wait it out. It was so far into the back. Does able to get it returned with the Atlas primary, but Kai is right there to just send it right back into your face.
Yeah, it's going to be Aimi with a lot of options here. Fight or Flight, of course, very good on every map, but especially one as open as Aten, and with the ability to get those kills with the secondary on Aimi is just an amazing one. That does mean that Atlas gets something like Team Player here. Primetime as well, very good with that Astral Projection, Strike Shot, Siege Machine. Those are going to be just lobbing those Astral Projections all the way across the map so frequently. But Estelle gets a Team Player, and Team Player is one of the strongest awakenings on Ad City, just because it's an open map. Making those passes faster means that they're harder to intercept. And that might be just what OSU needs here. Also, it does appear that there's actually two Echoes in this game. We have Echo in Progress, Akai, and Echo Hendrick as the Atlas on opposite teams. We'll see who is the better Echo as we go. But that is one barrier going down again. Seems like a Hurricane special here. Sniper Swipe as well, and secondary, that's Cosmic Expansion just not expanding fast enough.
Yeah, Aimi just being one of those basically jack-in-the-box pop-out surprise characters. She can hit you from just about any angle with the glitch pop, and then she, especially once the Dash Awakenings, she gets a Dash Awakening with an EE start, gets that for free. She can just hit you with that Cyber Swipe, just seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah, and that surprise factor really is the big part here. They're able to do so much, even getting the goal at the bottom there. And yeah, if OSU Orange is able to stabilize, we've seen it when the points go a little bit longer, they're able to get that barrier, they're able to fight back. But Hurricane just isn't giving them the chance to get control, to keep control, to do anything. Great back pass there from Echo in Progress to be able to actually keep control instead of just hitting it forward and giving it control to the enemy. Kind of a play you see in conventional soccer for a lot of time. Gets a barrier as well, a little bit slower this time, but still pretty fast in the first 12 seconds.
And again,
core flip available on Dagitos there.
Yeah, we have Dagitos with the core flip. Oh, I was just saying, I was expecting a dash into a core flip against that open goal, but tried to use it defensively and not able to connect with it. But yeah, just like you were saying, Hurricane has just so much mobility and can cover so much more of the field. Estelle, yeah, you have the blink and you have the all the projectiles that she gets. Kazan, on the other hand, he has a dash, but it's not that great for traversing unless you're just trying to cover a large area like we just saw, go from one end of the map to the other. But Kazan just not able to get the control of the core that he needs to really make anything happen. But yeah, we see the Kai and Aimi working together to send it up, and that cyber swipe just coming in. That cyber swipe seems to be the deciding factor and kind of the big advantage that Hurricane has going for them.
Yeah, it's been absolutely brutal. I mean, even if you don't hit the core like in that last one, the cyber swipe onto the goalie is enough to stun and just keep that hit stun from the Giga Blast going. So there's basically no chance for Echo Hendrick to actually even defend that one, unless he was just psychic and saw the play like 3 seconds ahead of time. But with the missile propulsion, he's going to be able to do about just that. Just fire those away super far. I was already talking about how far they're going to go, but now they're almost going to go across the entire map probably. So really good there. We have Lepontian picking up extra size, so that's a pretty good Kazan build. I mean, explosive entrance, perfect form, and big fish is pretty hard to ignore. And even the unstoppable on the Estelle, keeping other people from getting it, gets the barrier as well. It's the first time that we see OSU Orange take that first barrier. Really nice. The Rose Warp as well going forward. We have the Crystal Phones as well, keeping on the bottom of Lepontian, though not quite able to get it to this Estelle. It's a little bit more forward, kind of swapping the midfield and forward. That's kind of something that you can do as you just swap the positions, whichever's better, but goes over to Progress, and Progress puts it in. so difficult to stop all of these angles, as you were talking about, the IME can just kind of find.
Yeah, and kind of what we're seeing here, Atlas kind of notorious for low mobility, doesn't have any kind of like dash or blink. Everything is very stationary for him, and so especially once that lock goes and it's a wide open goal, Atlas is just going to struggle because Echo in Progress and Doggett's having so many angles to play with, and even with that expanse, they just keep returning it to your face, and eventually something is going to give.
Yeah, and it might just be OSU Orange giving this. I mean, first map is 1 point away here. Of course, I am a big fan of the reverse sweeps, and this is about the closest you can get to a reverse sweep here. So if OSU Orange is looking to do that, it's going to start now with the Apollo getting the barrier at the top. The primary as well is nice. The ultimate sends it back to Hendrick, but that's not a problem. The Guidos, though, has the core flip, actually gets the core flip win over Hendrick. And even as Kai falls, Guidos puts it in, says, doesn't matter, Kai, you were a valiant sacrifice, but that is going to be game 1 secured for the Heart.
Yeah, and I think mobility just won that. Otten being so open, so many angles you can set up, so many angles you can get set up, so many angles you can attack from, and the IME blink, the glitch pop that you can pop whenever you want. You can do it for a self pass, you can do it for a 90-degree angle if you want to. Kai notorious for that speed on the secondary, and then the barrage is just such a good push it forward. And then those Giga Blasts can come out of nowhere if you're really good with angling those. And I think, yeah, the mobility and like we were saying, that surprise IME blink just kind of, I think, won that game there. But with the second map being Tycho, I think anything can happen in Tycho, and I am so looking forward to it, and kind of hoping to see OSU come back from this, not let this shake them up at all, and go into Tycho full mental, full throttle, and honestly taking it to the third match. But we're gonna have to see what comes of that, see what character bans we get, what awakenings we get, and what character choices each team decides for. And kind of like what we were saying, going into Tycho, both these goalie choices, like we just saw the Dubu there, we just saw the Atlas there, solid plays from both of them. I think that mobility was just the deciding factor. Those lock it down zoning goalies are going to be in such a comfort zone when it comes to Tycho.
But yeah, the other thing though with that is that Tycho is the map chosen by OSU, if you ignore what I said right at the beginning when I was just flat wrong. So this is going to be them on their home ground. So a team winning on the map they choose, it's a good start, but it's nothing groundbreaking necessarily. They had a plan going into that. They executed it really well. Nothing to scoff at there, not downplaying that. If you have a plan, you execute it well, that's just one part of the strategy of the game. You know, the execution is the important part there. They just did it really well. But it does appear that I'm going to be kidnapped by a VTuber here in just a second, so will be really fun bringing a new caster here. So, you know, treat him well, don't bully him. He will, at the very least, be better than I have been in regard to reading things, because this guy over here has some actual reading comprehension. Hello, Eos, and goodbye, everybody else.
Hello. I'm Eos.
The VTubers are taking over.
Hi.
Hey, how's it
So
going?
what a match that was.
Yeah, going into that, like, Eos, I guess for a little background, Eos and I have played together. I think you were like the first person I played with any kind of regularity. You always being the forward, me learning the game on goalie.
No, it was me playing forward. You being forced into midfielder goalie.
You know what? That's fair. But yeah, looks like we are ready for game 2. Tycho Tempo. Tycho. Okay, AJ can't read. I can't speak. This is going great.
And I can't do either. But here we are, Tycho Tempo. One of my favorite maps in the game. I love this game and this map for like so many different angles you can get.
Yeah. And Tycho, again, all the angles, all the different plays you can do, the passing. We're seeing a Monumentalist and a Spark of Strength start here. Nothing too great. I'm thinking specifically for Tycho. If we're going to see a Dubu goalie come out, we do see Echo Hendricks hovering that as well. And we are looking at an Asher ban, which I completely understand. Asher is so dominant forward goalie when it comes to Tycho. He just has such good stuffing pressure. Both teams know that.
I'm actually more curious about the Spark of Strength starting Awakening. I want to see who and what team's going to take it, because anyone knows that like Sparks they can kind of snowball a game quite easily. In fact, like a game that's losing for one team, if they get Sparks, they can come back and win the game just as easily as they were losing at the first two sets.
But the thing with Sparks is it's high risk, high reward. Yeah, they can scale so well, but yeah, it's a Spark of Strength start here. We could easily, and I've seen this so many times, first draft, all 3 Sparks showing up.
And that is a possibility. You are gambling on that, but honestly, sometimes you have to gamble.
Yep. And we looks like we are seeing a Rasmus Estelle forward with a Dubu goalie going up against Juno, Kai, and an Atlas goalie. Again, these lock it down goalies gonna be in a really good comfort zone, especially at Manu start. Manu not that great on Dubu. It doesn't really do much for your Tofu Fortress unless you're going for KOs on it. But really, I think the biggest advantage you're going to get out of it is on your log. Does increase the size of that. Atlas loves that Manu, bigger expanse, bigger area to cover. But Holy OS and almost said Leprechaun, Leprosy and OS, finding nice passes right past that middle barrier to get middle bumper to get 1 barrier. But Tulsa Hurricane able to get both barriers. That Juno Blabo is just kind of covering so much and basically acting as a 4th forward and just kind of tripping up Dubu, and the Tofu not able to come out quick enough.
Yeah, it's always a sad day to see the Tofu wall come out, but always too late. But here we are with the exciting points. We have Rasmus hitting the middle thing, and we have a Kai Barrage coming out, followed by the Estelle hitting down bot lane. A beautiful primary from the Estelle does end up getting the second log.
And Rasmus able to keep it up against there, keep possession, but Juno clearing, but Echo Hendrix able to just send it back. And now this Rasmus and Estelle just trying to get a play set up again. This Atlas, good zoning when the barriers are up, but once it's an open goal, that mobility is going to come into play. And you have Estelle with the projectiles and the blink, Rasmus with the speed, but doesn't matter. Juno is able to send it across, get 1 barrier, almost 2. But Torn busting out the flip to get that save. All the flips coming out, just trying to get the save. And Echo in progress is getting, trying to get a goal going in progress. Now that we have both barriers open, it's a full open goal here. And which team can make something happen first? Which team can get those passing plays to get around these slow but highly defensive goalies?
We did see the secondary come out from the Atlas, but it does not matter because red team actually scores. Echo in progress does actually find the top corner, and a beautiful point by them.
Yeah, I think Echo Hendrix just kind of a 1-on-1 situation. Not, again, Dubu speed, not really able to cover a full open goal. And Kai basically hovering that bottom and just shoots it top. But as we see, Dubu roll doesn't connect and letting Kai send the core around to get both barriers out. But Rasmus just says, okay, I can do you one better. Takes both barriers, uses the flip, doesn't quite get the goal. Torn able to get it out, and that Juno Blabo's able to get some control, but not able to clear out of Hurricane's side of the field. And now this team play between Holy OS and I'm gonna need a name check on this. I'm just gonna say Lap. Their passing plays are just constantly keeping the score. They are not losing control of this at all. Even with the entire team of OSU Orange kind of there defending, but Dubu they lose the control once, and Dubu not able to get into position quick enough, and the core just slides right on, and Hurricane takes the first set.
We did see Laplacian and Holy also not trying to pass nonstop, trying to get that point. However, like, the defense from Torin was top notch, and he actually was able to defend against both of their passing plays. And as we saw, Juno actually was able to find a slime hit into the enemy goal.
Yep, and as we see here, Atlas loving the twin drive, just more expanses. Hopefully able to see more defenses on those barriers. Estelle with the aerials, longer blink, longer projectiles. EE on Juno, so you're getting your longer dashes. Kai picking up the Spark of Resilience, getting that double spark going. And Dubu picking up Big Fish, and Rasmus picking up Built Different, getting that size going on the side of OSU. But I didn't see who got the KO, but Echo in Progress does get KO'd, but OSU Orange, excuse me, does give up both barriers to get that KO, and not able to get a barrier in return. And Core going topside, able to slide just past Dewey even with that increased size.
We were talking about the angles before the game actually started. We just saw right there using the top bumper to the full effectiveness. Sometimes that speed is all you need from the bumpers.
Yeah, sometimes it's not so much about the angle, it's just getting the speed boost from those bumpers that they tend to give the Core. But
And when you're going against a slow goalie like Dubu, sometimes that's all you need.
yeah, if you can get it there quicker than Dubu can react, which honestly, not with Dubu, especially that speed nerf, when they nerfed Dubu speed, and I think the most recent micro patch, it turned a lot of people off on Dubu goalie, but still really good at holding it down. As we see OSU Orange able to keep that control, keep their passing plays going. Honestly, phenomenal passing on the side of OSU Orange, just waiting for an opening, and then once they find it, Lap just sending it right in.
We did see Holly actually hit the corner pocket in the bumper, with the SO hit into the goal box, which is actually something you don't often see in this map, even though I kind of wish we did more.
Yep, and as we see Torin just down to one barrier, both sides actually down to one barrier, but seeing who can hold out the longest. Again, we do have the twin drive on the Torin, but Holy OS and Lap able to just squeak it into that expanse.
Torin second day did actually negate the Laplacian core flip. We did see Torin actually miss his core flip though. A beautiful core flip from Holly does pass Laplacian, but was not able to find the points. Kai comes in with the barrage, does find the unlock. Echo Hendrick does have his core flip, but a beautiful second day from Torin does defend against the points.
And Lab actually looking a little low, but on the side of the Hurricanes, I don't think damage is kind of what they're going for. But Lab able to find an opening, and that Atlas projectile just not able to reach quick enough, and it goes into that bottom pocket. And yeah, when you were talking about all the, there was a moment there where it seemed like just about everyone had a core flip up, and it was either used or whiffed.
There's at least 4 used.
Yeah, with the exception of Echo Hendrick, who using his now just to return it and get one barrier down. Holy OS is taking a little bit of damage, but I don't believe... Oh, Kai sees it, uses the barrage, not able to get the full stagger, but able to give Dog enough of opportunity to get up to that corner and get one barrier down as they send it down, and now both barriers down on the side of OSU Orange, but Echo Hendrick able to get there just in time and able to clear it past the Kai barrage. And let's see if Holy and Lap can get their passing plays, get that control going. And
oh my god. We did see a beautiful save by Echo Hendrick. However, Echo in Progress was right there to actually counter that.
That's Echo v Echo. Echo in Progress just had to prove that they are the better Echo in that moment. But that was an insane Dubu roll save on the side of Echo Hendricks. That was perfectly timed, right on the edge, able to get it saved. But yeah, unfortunately,
I almost lost it in the last frame.
It had to have been the last frame. That core was almost halfway in.
We do see a bunch of slides from Dogitos actually getting in the gates. And sadly, the ultimate from Echo Hendrick does not find the core.
Yeah, the Echo in Progress. Kai Barrage able to just push it right past before the Tofu Fortress can come out. And that is giving the Hurricanes up to set point going into this. With Juno up front, I don't believe, we have yet to see Hot Shot, but luckily for for OSU Orange, there is no Hot Shot in this draft.
She does take Catalyst though, which is actually, in my opinion, one of the better awakenings in the game. You get a lot of defensive pressure with the evading. You get offensive pressure with the increased energy gain. Honestly, just an overall solid pick.
Honestly, yeah. Good picks kind of all around. You get the, like you said, Catalyst, one of the best awakenings in the game on the Juno. Kai picking up that Cast Blast, longer speed burst. Atlas picking up the Rapid Fire, so now double secondary and quicker cooldowns on the primary. But again, the passing plays and the teamwork with Holy OS and Lap just showing to be a little too strong for the Hurricanes to really deal with. They just cannot shake that control away from them. And then we also see a missile prop on Dubu, and Dubu loves missile prop, shoot that Tofu Fortress forward. But kind of like what you've been saying a little bit that sometimes that Tofu Fortress just does not come out quick enough.
I may be mistaken, but pretty sure the hitbox actually doesn't spawn until like frame 3 or so, I was told.
It does take a little bit of distance for it to fully form.
The one awakening I'm actually curious about being picked up is actually on the Rasmus. Extra Special Rasmus is usually a very good at core controlling, and I'm kind of curious to see what Laplacian would do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just going to make it harder for the Hurricanes, for Torin, and as we see a hit stun on Dog there, forcing them not to save as Lap sends it to the bottom. But yeah, I imagine just again, I keep saying it, the control that Holy and Lap have with a free Rasmus ult coming up. If they do manage to get it through them, break that core control, Lap is just going to be able to hook it right back, especially with that reduced cooldown. But Juno saying, I have a team of Blobos on my side, takes both barriers, uses the flip. Echo Hendrix doing a great job of timing the strike and the Dubu abilities to beat out that flip, but Echo in Progress is right there with the barrage to send it straight into that goal.
At this point, it just seems to be like, what is actually stronger? Do we have Echo and Doggis like forcing power, or do we have Laplacian and Holy's like teamwork? Both sides actually have good skills for that, but we're gonna see who actually comes out on top here.
Yeah, there's definitely some strong sides on both sides. I think just so far with the Awakening picks we've seen so far, the Awakenings that Lap and Holy have been able to pick up just synergize so well together that now that they have the speed, they have the cooldown reduction, they have the blink capabilities. Like we see there, they take their first set and we might be seeing a reverse sweep because they've scaled. Yeah, Juno and Echo in Progress on the Kai have great stuffing potential, but they need to break that core control once it gets in the hands of Rasmus and Estelle there.
One thing I've actually noticed that when Rasmus and Estelle does grab it, like you said, they are keeping control of it. They are not letting it pass them easily. We also see the deny of the sparks from Rasmus over here, which
But
that actually might...
Rasmus did take Spark of Strength at the start, so it's a deny, but it's also good speed.
Yep,
I'm more surprised on the hot shot getting all the way down to Juno there. That's going to be a faster moving core when her abilities hit, her Blabo shoot it out, but also cooldown reduction every time she hits the core with them.
I actually want to point out the fact that she actually managed to sneak it by Dubu's Tofu wall.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful... that was so beautiful done by her.
That was a great manual on that Blabo to know that she can strike it up into that corner and just hit it around the Tofu. But we see barriers
last season with the kill on Atlas.
Yeah, and now Dog just trying not to give it up, keeping on that side so they don't have so they can give their goalie enough time to respawn. But Echo in Progress not able to make the save with Lap sending it into that top corner.
Even if Echo in Progress did manage to catch it, I'm almost guaranteed that Laplacian's primary would have actually killed him and also scored as well.
Yeah, it was going to be a hard clear for anyone. I'm not sure what Kai's abilities were. I don't think they had Barrage up, which I think would have been the only way they could have gotten it out. But as we see, the core doing a little dance up there between the drums and that Tofu Fortress. But we do see a barrier going down on the side of OSU Orange. And Echo Hendrix clearing it to Holy, able to send it around the world and take a barrier right back on the side of the Hurricanes. Core flip to save the final barrier. And again, these zoning goalies, they're normally so good here, but again, the core control from Lap and Holy, and then just the stuffing power with Echo in Progress and Dog, just kind of should be coming a little too much for both goalies. And it's really who can get what they want set up first, as we see Lap using flip to KO the Juno right off the map and see if they can make a power play, but Lap is a little low with no evade to save it if he needs it.
The Tofu wall does come out from Echo Hendrix. Does block out the bottom path. However, we see a jump from Juno, does catch the core, but thankfully Echo Hendrix does save it there.
And Echo in Progress does try to use the barrage to get in close enough to use that flip. Echo and Hendrix finding the clear down straight to Holy OS. Use the flip point blank, able to get the barrier. And the barrage, last pellet, able to catch the core rebound and send it into the goal. Now it's 1-1.
At this point in the game, that's not the kind of mistake you want to make, just missing that core.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Dubu roll may have been the only thing that could have saved it there to stun the core so that pellet doesn't connect. Um, but yeah, we are seeing a double unlock there. Echo in progress sends it right into the middle, and yeah, that's just one of those Tycho angles. You get it in there and hope it bounces and gets both barriers. We do see one down on the side of the Hurricanes now, and Lap and Holy just doing what they do best, just passing it around. But Torrent with the flip, able to send it up. Dog catches it. Echo in progress, able to send it forward, and Echo Hendricks not able to find the clear.
Like I said earlier, just the primaries from Kai and the primaries from Juno with the slimes. It's just too much for Echo Hendricks to handle sometimes.
Yeah, I think we're really seeing a battle of basically control versus stuffing power, which you look at this team comp with the Juno and Kai, and yeah, they have good stuffing abilities, but when you think stuffing power, you're thinking Asher, you're thinking X, you're thinking Julie.
Yeah, this is not the one you usually think of.
Yeah, but no, the Hurricanes making this work. And again, Echo able to send it in that top pocket, and Dubu just not quick enough to get up there. And that does mean Hurricanes take the second game winning this series, but no, it was a 2-0 series, but I think it was a really well played on both sides. Again, like we were talking, is basically showing the core control from the forwards versus the stuffing potential of the forwards, and it was just constantly a back and forth of OSU Orange was able to keep the core on the Hurricane side for a long period of time, but with the Atlas and the Juno coming back, great defensive synergy on their side, able to save it even once the goal is open. And then as soon as they're able to get that clear, Juno jumps, Kai speeds, and immediately transitions to an offensive push. And that stuffing potential getting through the Dubu. And Dubu is a really good lock-it-down goalie, but as soon as you get in his face, he has his role in his primary that's good, but that ult, which is kind of what Dubu's known for, that his solid defensive zoning ability, it doesn't come out quick enough when the enemy's point blank with you. And like we were talking earlier, it doesn't fully form until around frame 3. And in this case, that stuffing power, that quick transition from defensive into offensive, was what won Hurricane in this second match.
And like, I will actually give it up to Echo Hendrick. I'm actually not known to be a goalie player, but I know how hard it is. And having to deal with double stuffing power from the Kai and the Juno is not always that easy to deal with. There's a lot of pressure there, and having to try and think in a field like that while trying to avoid their pressure, sometimes it's a little too much, but Echo managed to actually hold it down for most of the game.
Yeah, and I think what was probably hurting Echo the most, and it hurts every Dubu goalie, is I don't think they were able to get a speed awakening. I saw Stacks on Stacks come up. I believe Juno took it. And yeah, Dubu, great zoning, but Dubu and Atlas both just suffer from that mobility. And with the dashes and the blobbo projectiles from Juno, the speed and all the projectiles coming out of Kai, that Dubu speed just is not able to cover enough of an open goal. But yeah, I think a good game, both teams. I think a good final match of this regular season.
And what a final match it was.
Yes, it was. But thank you. I know I like AJ. I really do like AJ. But I'm glad you're able to join us, EOS.
He is far better than I am. I will say that much.
We love AJ in this house.
We do.
With that, I think we can call it a night. Any parting words, EOS?
We should probably talk about the November 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch/Odyssey Interactive. And that'll be when the play-in start. Playoffs will be on November 23rd and November 24th at noon ET, both days on the same channel.
Awesome. Well, with that, I hope everyone has a good night and keep on striking.
Keep on striking, my friends. Have a good night.